Again, with all council members present, we are ready to begin our workshop session. I believe that we have one item on the agenda this evening for our workshop. It is the Strategic Planning Committee's update for Mayor and Council. I believe Ms. Johnson will be heading up this conversation.
Correct. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Myself and along with Chief Elmore and Mike Hicks. Mike Hicks has passed the torch for the Strategic Planning Committee over to Chief Elmore and myself, and we wanted to just give some updates on what we've been doing, and being a new year, just kind of work our way through so we can update y'all. And if you have any questions, you can ask them this evening. So just an overview of the Strategic Planning Committee. We've got our strategic goals, our core values, and then something new that we're going to talk about tonight is our Ambassador Committee proposal for trying to look at employees that encompass our core values. So, and then we'll talk about those goals. So the next slide for us, Shavela, please. We've got our 5 strategic goals, which is the local economy and growth, quality of life, transportation and mobility, public safety and security, and governance and customer service. So these committees have been meeting for over a year, along with our goals and our activities, and trying to check off those things that we want to get done based on financially what we can, accomplish, and working together as a unity and as a city as a whole to meet those accomplishments for those strategic goals for each committees. So, and you can see the list here for the local economy, quality of life, public safety and security, transportation, mobility, and governance, and customer services, what those goals are for each of those committees. And those committees are, have, department heads across the city that are meeting to work on those activities. So these are the charges for those teams and those committees. Next slide. And of course, we all been using our background for what our core values are in the back as we meet virtually, through the past year and a half. So it's been kind of nice to have that as a backbone for the city of College Park. Next slide. So the next thing we want to talk about are our core values. So we've got service, respect, equity and inclusion. And then we've also got innovation, integrity, and advancement that are our core values for the city. So we've been working on that and recognizing and letting everybody know that that's what the city that we're trying to do as service in our positions for our community. So our core values. So our recommendations, we've got an employee ambassador committee that they were nominated by our department heads. Those were employees that were in each department for the city of College Park to get together and see how we could have a committee that would work on being cheerleaders for employees and recognizing employees that are showing our core values for the city. So each department had nominated those representatives, and then they started to meet. And so the ambassadors' objectives are to choose the city employees that embody the core values, which we listed were service, respect, innovation, integrity, and advancement. The reason for doing this is to help boost the morale and recognize city employees for their service and embodying those core values. So then we're looking at recognizing them on a monthly basis. So we've got two of we've got our chair and our co-chair on this evening. We've got Tanya LaPlanche and Belinda Wilder that are on here so that we can ask them some questions too after I go through the presentation, if there's anything specific that you'd like to ask them. So that then what we've got here to present are the guidelines that we're looking at for the employee ambassadors to implement this monthly employee type of recognition. So next slide. So what we want to do is select an employee based on those characteristics of one or more of the core values. Those would be incorporating our core values with human resources employees during orientation so that they can get the buy-in also. And to have all employees to buy into the core values. So everybody across the board is all on the same page on what we want the city of College Park to look like. And we want to set a standard of behavior of how the employees are to represent the city and how the customers are expected for them to be treated by the city employees. For the citizens and the customers to encounter anyone with the city of College Park to have expectations that they are to be treated by an employee that embodies these core values. Next slide. So this is the proposal that the employees ambassadors came up. Tanya, we've met with the Strategic Planning Committee and Belinda and some of the other committee members on what they'd like to do based on a budget that was been given to us from HR. And so this is just a proposal for us to present to y'all tonight. And if there was questions for us to, see what we could do to move this forward. The winner based on being submitted would be a monetary gift of $150 to receive an approved day off, receive a core value t-shirt, headshot and media release, recognition of the city on the College Park LED board, recognition of Employee of the Month on, we call it the Hall of Fame at City Hall, a signature seal for email for Employee of the Month, discussion of legal gifts and services in kind, maybe from our local businesses to help with donations to maybe, make the pot a little bit nicer, maybe dinner or a massage or something that would be us recognizing also those businesses in there through our employees, and some sort of little gift bags for other nominees that didn't get the actual Employee of the Month. Next slide. So this is how the process would work. The city employee would a city employee can nominate a coworker, and they would submit that to it'd be based on the core values, and they would submit that to their direct supervisor. The supervisor would make the selection and submit it by the 15th of each month to the employee ambassadors, and then the ambassadors would meet on the 20th of each month and make a selection of one employee for the upcoming month. Ambassadors would notify the HR who that employee would be and notify public information officer to get the media out. And then HR would send an official letter to the Employee of the Month. And then HR would also submit for the $150, the budget of being $250 per month for payment. And then HR would notify all city employees via media support. And then finally, HR would recognize the Employee of the Month on the first mayor and council meeting of each month. So that's what the proposal is. Tanya and Belinda, would y'all like to add anything to that if I've missed anything? Mike, are they able?
Did you want to unmute your mic?
I think you covered it all.
Okay. Mike or Chief, is there anything that I missed on that?
Chief, as co-chair, I yield my minutes to you.
Thank you. No, but I feel like I feel like it's a real good program. The employees are looking forward to it. The employees that I've spoken to, I think it's going to boost morale for the employees across the city. So I'm very excited about it.
Okay, I think that was it. Any questions?
Any questions?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Michelle, I'd like to make a comment and maybe ask a couple questions.
Sure.
First off, we didn't get this in our packet.
Yeah, my apologies. I should have started off with that when this was added on. I apologize. This was did not have so it's absolutely my problem. I did not get this information out to you. The slide was not completed that I sent to you guys.
Could it please be sent to us via
Sure.
email so that we can add it to our records?
Absolutely, Councilman Clay. So my apologies.
I think it's an excellent program. And I think it could be fun. It would be nice if you had introduced who the representatives of each of the city departments are. Maybe not personally introduce them, but at least show them pictures or names on a slide or so forth. I'd like to know that.
For the ambassador committee or I'm sorry.
For the committee.
I'm sorry. I do have Tanya LaPlanche and Belinda Wilder on there, the chair and the co-chair. So yes, that would be great to put faces.
But haven't all the committee members been selected at this point?
Correct. Each department has given a nominee for that. And we started this right before the holidays. So not all they've all been invited to meet, but there has been a handful that have been meeting to work on this process.
Okay, well, at some point, I think we'd like to know that all departments are being actively represented and who the representatives are. I think that would be helpful.
Okay, I can
Um,
send the list that who the nominees are for you too.
Yeah, so you might just include that in with the other information.
Sure.
The one thing I wonder about is I think the indoctrination, the employee training for new hires could really be really important because it's their first experience with the organization. At least it should be right up within the first few days. From my experience, anyhow, in management, we tried to train our employees within a week, at least get them on board with the fundamentals. And I think this is a very fundamental. This is a cultural thing. It's an attitude thing. And I think it's just excellent. We need to really do a good job of the training. Who is going to help you put together that presentation? You guys are going to just do it yourself, or are you going to have any consultancy from anybody on that?
Are you talking about for the HR? I believe that was implemented prior to this, that they were to put that in HR. Am I incorrect, Mr. Hicks?
That is correct. I was looking for Crystal.
Crystal's, yeah.
Crystal can give some updates on that.
Yeah,
But
so we wanted the
Crystal.
buy-in from the get-go as they're being employed to know, or as they come into the city as a new employee, that this is what we stand for and these are our core values.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think this is so important. I don't know about anybody else on council, but I think I would like to have a feeling of what we're actually saying in the training program.
Absolutely. I think it's something long overdue. I was going to ask for the packet presentation as well.
Sure, I'll
But
send it.
Michelle, this is, I saw something like this in one of the 15 cities in Fulton County. And I said to myself, this is kind of the direction we need to go in, because setting the tone when people walk in the door is something that's been completely missing in this city. And this is a great, where did this come from? Did this come from one of the other cities, or where did you brainstorm this thing from?
So this is our ambassador committee. They worked really hard on trying to implement, to start off, what could we afford to do? Because we haven't recognized in some time during COVID, and how can we get the buy-in and how to get employees excited. And Belinda and Tanya did a great job on co-chairing this, along with Miss West, and we had some Mahershala. They worked really hard on brainstorming how it would, we want to be the cheerleaders and support these employees that have worked really hard to embody these core values. So I think
Right.
it is important, as you're saying, I've got 26 years of service, and this is something, for my 26 years, I think it's fantastic that we are representing what we're saying every day. See it, say it, be it, and implement it. And
All right.
think
Well, you got my buy-in.
I agree. It should be
Councilman Allen,
part of,
go ahead.
it should be part of orientation, when a new employee comes on board, to let them know what's expected. They can feel good about it. You want to make them feel good. You want them to go out and tell all their friends, hey, look what's happening over here. They're doing this, and this. It's just a good program. So
well, I think it hits all the
hats off
employees.
to your committee. Really.
Well, they
really
did great.
good job.
I mean, they worked hard, and we worked hard on making sure that we could implement it. I know that's been the problem in the past, is actually having a program and making sure it doesn't fizzle out, that we want every month to be as important with whatever employee stands in front of us on a monthly basis, on recognizing them. And money at this time is I think is probably the nicest motivator and support for those employees that work really hard.
Councilman Allen, as you just said, we are going to use this as part of their onboarding. So when they come in for onboarding and getting their ID and doing their insurance, this will be something that would be given to each employee that's onboarded into the city.
Fantastic. That's great.
Any
Are
other
there any
questions for Ms.
questions?
Johnson? Hearing none. We sincerely appreciate your efforts. This is, as Councilman Cardin said, something that's long overdue, and yet another way that we can show respect toward our employees. And I'm not sure that there's a group more deserving of respect for everything that they do to continue to build that community that we deserve. So thank you, Ms. Johnson. Appreciate you and your committee and co-chairs and everyone who's had input into this great program. All right. I believe that's all we've got in workshop. Is that correct?
That's it.
That's it. So at this time, I will take a motion to re-enter into executive session for the purposes of real estate personnel and litigation.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Clay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Carn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passes unanimously. We will go to that other link. See you shortly, gentlemen. Thank you.